Uh,
I
is
said
that
fork,
in
dude.
Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A forked tail of the clan hemoglobin.
So, we're just gonna uh, joined here by Doug and Nando, and we're gonna talk some Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, and yeah, Destiny 2.
Dark Souls. Neo.
For
Bloodborne.
starters, though, Doug, you were saying a few minutes ago, you started playing Fortnite again recently,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what was the have you played any of
Consensus?
the played any of the battle royale
No.
or just the
No, I haven't played the Battle Royale. I've done a lot of watching. You know what?
you
It's
were
too
back in the
nerve-wracking, man.
yeah
You
you
know
were
what? I noticed one thing about the Battle Royale. It's just like King of the Hill, H1Z1.
yeah
You've got to
or
have, a sniping
PUBG too.
ability. And you know what? I'm just not good enough at shooters. Now, if it's a
Yeah.
hand-to-hand combat, that's a different story. But
Uh,
shooters, you know what? So many of the guys who play that, like, you should watch John Ronaldo. Holy shit, man.
he's just a
Like, we're
fucking animal.
talking 250-yard snipes where you can barely see the guy's head. He snaps
Uh,
onto that guy's head and he's done. You can see the blood from 200, and that's a long distance.
yeah.
So, like, and I'm not good enough at that. But on the other hand, there's all kinds of cheaters. Amy was watching, and this one guy, you know how in Fortnite, if you've watched Battle Royale, they're putting up a defense quick. Like if somebody's sniping or you're getting hit from where you don't know, they put up a wall around them to protect themselves really
Oh yeah.
fast, or they
Yeah.
get into a building. That's a huge defensive measure. And this one guy, what he does is he like a lot of if you've watched H1Z1 or Battle Royale, there's a lot of waiting and stalking. So what he does is he finds a building with like a basement. He'll hold the floor and underneath over top of himself, he'll wait till somebody comes in there and standing on the floor, he'll shoot the floor out and kill the guy. Like this fucking lame shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Like that those kind of tactics are in all those games are. I can't deal with that shit. I need a straight stand-up fight like in PvP and Bloodborne or Dark Souls or Neo, where it's me and you and we'll see who wins.
So
None of
you
this shit.
but you went back into the co-op though in Fortnite.
PvE, yeah.
Yeah, and
I swear to God, the combat in that, it's the adrenaline rush and is just like when you're getting to that final boss in a strike in Destiny.
yeah.
It's awesome. It's like there's so much shit going on that it's like you can't even see yourself for the firefight around you sometimes. That's awesome. I love that. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah. Uh, what about because I haven't played it in a while, man. Like, um,
Well,
you know,
it's every MMO has its style of grinding that pushes people away or attracts them.
yeah.
I don't mind it in this game. The repetitive, like trying to find material, uh, finding progression and all that shit.
Well, I
It's
mean, like I had a blast playing it, but I mean, something. I can't remember if it was something else came out that I wanted to play, or it was,
it was
uh,
because I quit too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but it seems to me like I've
Well,
almost hit kind of a wall too. Like I wasn't getting the fucking the llamas that I needed. Like it was. Uh, does that sound like it could be a thing? I mean, I can't really remember. It was a while
well,
back.
getting llamas is the best chance of getting those the orange survivors and heroes. Heroes are important. More like there's four kinds of heroes: the Outlander,
Yeah, yeah.
there's Ninja, the Constructor, and the Soldier. So I guess the ultimate goal, and then there's two different types to every that they have different skills that are tweaked, different specials in each one of those four areas. So if you've got a rare, goes rare, epic, legendary. If you've got a rare lead hero, It doesn't matter what survivors you put in to back them up. You're going to be, you know what? It's going to be tough.
Yeah. Um,
You know what? I don't know. It's just it's just fun.
yeah.
The PVE is extensive, man. It's so extensive. Amy, I put well over $100, and I'm not even. Just can see halfway in the quest progression to getting into the final area. I'm not even half. I'm about 43% in, and at that rate, I mean, we're talking 300-400 hours of gameplay. That's pretty, you know.
Okay. What about
But
I mean, we all like uh, we all were. I mean, Destiny One, like I mean, we were all there since fucking day one, like and we grinded the shit out of that game. Um, but what do you think about? Because I don't know if you saw Young Yeah.
yep,
He posted another, like he was talking about it just the other day with apparently, because it's been a while since I played it, ever since I found out about the XP throttling bullshit. I mean, that fucking
in
pissed me
Destiny,
off.
yeah.
And
Isn't that
D2, right?
terrible?
Like, um, so I mean, ever since then, I've just been staying away from it. I've been playing other shit, but I mean, they got busted again. This time it was the faction rally this
Oh
week
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they were throttling the token drops, right?
You know
Don't
Um,
what?
forget the dawning.
what's that?
The winter the holiday winter event. They had 50 new items, and they had limited to three engrams per day, which in no way, shape, or form would you be able to get all those rewards. So
Yeah,
the only
that's
way for you to get them is to go in through Eververse and start spending money.
yep. Um, that's and another thing was releasing new weapons um, throughout season two. Like season two, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, was supposed to have 5 new weapons. Now, apparently, like they're releasing them like one at a time or something. Uh, so that's another thing that they're kind of fucking around with. Like like you can't get the new good shit that you want to.
Yep.
Um, and another like I kind of found that even the exotics, like when I was getting exotics dropping for me, fuck, like 75-80% of the time, like, well, I mean, I think I got them all, like all the exotics that I can use. Um, and yeah, I mean, they're just why was there could have been more, like it seems like there was a lot more exotics you can get your hands on in Destiny 1.
Problem with, and I guess the proper genre for that game, Destiny, Fortnite, Warframe, they're all MMOs, right?
Yeah.
And at the core, the problem with MMOs for guys like us who are competitive nature, and the PvP doesn't overrule it. What it comes down to is you got to play by their rules,
Man,
and that's what sucks.
I did have a pretty good time playing fucking Crucible though in Destiny 2. I gotta say, I mean, there was once I got started on it and just kind of got a handle on the maps. I mean, it was pretty fucking fun. Like,
What I mean by that is more that an MMO is a competitive based game. The difference with, uh, how do I put it? They've all got their way of doing underhanded shit because they're number one. When I saw the picture when Destiny first came out, Destiny 1, and it was huge. The publicity and everything was amped up. It was like it was like No Man's Sky ish. Just the anticipation. So everything was being analyzed, and I saw a picture of their brand new building, Bungie's brand new building in Seattle, with all 350 people who were working on Destiny, and all I saw was screens, computer screens, to track player involvement, who's playing, how many is playing. That's what they want. How many people are playing, and Destiny,
But you know what? I mean,
Warframe. I saw the same problems.
if you want people
They make you
playing, you
play,
gotta, you know,
but they're
like
all doing it,
I
so they don't care.
I understand that, you know, any any MMO game like uh it's dangling a carrot on a
Yep.
string, right? Dangling a carrot on a string in front of you. But I mean, fuck, like you know, it, you already spent you already spent your money, right? Like the money's gone. You bought the game. Uh, but you got to give me some kind of fucking incentive to sink my time into it as well. Like, I don't know.
Well, Bungie, I felt, compared to Warframe, who did Warframe? Like, who's the developer there? The name of them?
Oh,
I can't
yeah,
remember.
I can't fucking remember off the top of my
It
head
all it
here.
all boils it all boils down to greed, and they want to stretch. They want to stretch the their limit as
Digital
far as they
Extremes.
possibly can of how much they can squeeze out of you, how many dollars
Y-
they can squeeze out of you, because
Yep.
they want to continue making money. And you look at a lot of different companies, and watch the video on IGN where Alana Pierce was saying that you can have a successful game without microtransactions. I say one game often. You look at Fallout, it made $750 million in the first 24 hours. So you put out a good quality game, be it single player or multiplayer. You work with the community. You make uh, a really good game with a lot of content that's accessible for people. You'll get the money will be there.
I mean, you
But
know, honestly, I mean, I don't really have a problem with a game including microtransactions as an optional thing, you know, for like things like cosmetics or whatever, like that kind of shit, right? Like, um, but I mean the best weapons, the best gear in the game, you know, you should be able to, and same with trophies and that kind of thing. I mean, you should be able to, that shit should be attainable without having to spend extra fucking money.
Or an ungodly amount of time.
Yeah,
Either or.
yeah.
I
I
mean, I
mean,
think the money thing is worse because you know what I mean. It just is. And
um,
speaking of Destiny, which is just like Warframe and Fortnite, we'll use those three as compare them. They all have their PvP element and their PvE. Uh, One thing Destiny set Destiny apart, and was that I felt that Bungie's personality always came to the forefront. They punished you. They didn't like you beating the fucking game. They would always change the
the
rules.
pipe, the
They would
pipe,
always they.
the pipe in
I just
Sepix Prime.
I
Remember?
can't stand I can't stand that shit
That
where you
was
could
that was
snipe
the
that
last.
tank.
Yeah, that
Well,
was the last fucking straw for you in the Destiny One. Nan, you got to remember this. Remember the Sepix Prime strike, the first one. You'd when you got to where that big six-legged fucking tank was, the big open area there, and there you
yeah,
could go in, and as soon as you entered the area, you take a hard right, and there was a pipe on the wall, and you could stand on that thing, and it was basically a safe zone. You could stand up there with a sniper rifle and just waste the fucking tank, and he couldn't hit you up there, like he couldn't see you when you were standing on that pipe, and um, I mean, it was cheese, but I mean the only time you'd really do it is when it was the nightfall. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, anyway, I remember it, as clearly as reasonably possible. Hello, Amy. We're doing a live stream right now. Just talking, talking.
Talking about Destiny,
Yeah.
Fortnite,
Right
just
now
talking
we're.
about a couple games. We were going to talk
Do
about Monster Hunter also.
do you have your audio sharing on? Let me see if I can hear you on the live stream here. Um, could you could you say a thing? Oh fuck, hang on.
I mean,
Yeah, go ahead. No, your audio
he's
is not
checking.
coming through, Amy.
Yeah,
Um,
are
what
you linked
Nan?
with Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, but actually, what was that option you had to turn on, Nand? The
Share your
um,
voice.
share your voice, allow
You
your
got to go
voice to
into
be
the
shared.
party. You got to go into the party itself and go into settings and allow your audio to be shared.
And then that should fix it, I think. Okay, and you checked it off?
Allow for current party.
Okay. And I'm going to have a listen and make sure. Oh, yeah, there you are. Right on. Okay, so we were talking about
A
Destiny
comparison, actually.
Destiny 1. Remember in
Oh Lord.
the Sepix Prime strike
What?
where you'd come into the big open
Remember the
area
pipe,
where the
Amy?
the
You'd cheese the boss. If you were standing on the pipe, he wouldn't shoot you.
yeah, where you could cheese the six-legged tank. You get up on that pipe and he couldn't hit you up there, and the enemies wouldn't come up and harass you up there. You could just sit up there with a sniper rifle and just cheese the tank.
Give him
Well,
the old Royale with cheese.
yeah.
I think the basic topic we're covering, Amy, is we're mentioning like names like Fortnite, Destiny, and Warframe, and like all this talk about loot boxes and in Battlefront, and all this crap that's going
Microtransactions
on,
and shit like that.
and just what
Yeah.
it is about these kind of games that are negative, positive, and some of the things that are going on by the developers that we don't like or that we like, and I was
So in
say
other words,
comparing.
topics that we cover every day.
More or
Well,
less.
yeah, it's our life, it's our hobby, it's our, you know what, it's my passion. I spend a lot of time with this. I don't watch television anymore, and so it's important that, I mean, how much money do I spend on games every year?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say since I got into PlayStation 7 years ago, I probably sunk $5,000,
A load.
Thousands. Thousands.
thousands.
I know I've spent thousands. Easily.
So but I remember that was the last straw for you, Doug. Me, you, and
It
Bones.
was
We were running through that strike. It was the nightfall, and
you punished.
we get out there, and the fucking pipe is gone, and
It,
and
the first time
that was it.
anybody play, sorry, Levi, but
Yeah.
the first time everybody and anybody played that game, if they're listening, if they're watching, I don't care, will agree.
Huh.
Within an hour, you saw Bungie's overall personality and how they think of their player base. When a fucking enemy would throw a 300-yard grenade to your foot on your fucking toe laces over top of cover every fucking time. That's not I mean, that's neither here nor there. You dealt with it, you rolled away. But that was the first indication that Bungie are suffering, which a lot of these companies do. They get so wrapped up in their game. They are so invested in it,
Ego. It's
years and
their
hundreds of
ego, right?
millions,
Like,
that you aren't going to beat them. They
yeah.
punish you and they frustrate you and they make you do things that you don't want to do, and they guide you. You have to do this to win. You have to spend so many hours, no matter what it is. That's the thing that pushes me away.
Um,
I mean, they're all fun. I really had a great time with Destiny. The same with Warframe, and the same with Fortnite. And I'm seeing, having spent now well over 100 hours with each of them, and probably 400 hours at Destiny. But the
So
thing about Fortnite that brings me back is that it's just fun. You don't feel punished. You don't feel like you don't get. There's nowhere near the frustration level. I might die, but it's just in the end it's fun and it keeps bringing me back, and that's the difference.
um,
Warframe wasn't like that, and neither was Destiny.
well, and Destiny 2, I mean, they've obviously, really focused on going after the microtransactions, right? Like, I mean, 'cause, I mean, at first, Eververse was just supposed to be for shit like emotes and cosmetic items and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but now, I mean, with the, first of all, with the XP throttling, second of all, with the now the with the current faction rally that's going on, right? Because I kind of called it quits on Destiny 2 at that point with the XP throttling scandal, and
Hey, Nando,
This scandal. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to say that you've probably got about twice to three times the amount of years gaming as I do. So your
Yeah.
knowledge of the history and it all video games are one thing. Developers, companies who've come to
Yeah.
who personalities and style of games and how they've put themselves in the forefront. And would you not say, because you know more about Bungie and Halo, I don't know anything about Bungie until I played Destiny, and all I know is, would you say that their reputation has taken a big hit since the glory
Yeah.
days of
Yes,
Halo? Like they're
definitely.
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
and that shit that
They've
Levi's
all.
talking about,
There's a bunch of companies now, and
play our way or fuck off.
the top three, in my opinion, EA is at the forefront. You've got Bungie, and then you've got Activision. And one thing I was going to mention was a video that we saw that I sent you guys, how in Call of Duty now,
Hmm.
in the game, they actually are showing people opening their loot boxes and
To
watching them get rewards so that it will encourage other players that
to
are
get, yeah, I
watching
want that.
to open more loot boxes.
Why can't I have that? Why did we do the same
It's
thing and spend three
unbelievable.
hours and he gets that because he spent money?
They're
Yeah.
they're so unbelievably greedy and
It's pretty low down.
underhanded. The,
Well,
the 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 term that I like that Yang Ye uses is predatory tactics, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
and that's
that's exactly right,
that
man.
is a
Like,
perfect statement. And another thing, I'm not sure if it was, I think it was EA, it's either EA or Activision. They are creating an algorithm that they will put in the game that will change the difficulty in the game depending on how you're playing to make you buy microtransactions. I mean, if that is not shady, predatory fucking practices, I don't know
uh,
what is. And
and
I
it's
wasn't
don't
the other
want
Nanda,
anything
wasn't
to
the
do with
other
it.
element of that they were going to dictate who you paired up with, so that you
Yeah,
would
the
have,
same thing.
yeah,
They're
so
gonna
that um,
they're gonna put you up against players that are way better than you, which is gonna frustrate you and make you go buy, I need a better weapon, I need a better character, I need better skills. Let me go buy this loot box.
and
I need
it's
an edge.
it's really
actually I
it's
thought
not
it
all
was
that
the other way
surprising to
around.
me.
I thought that they were pairing you up with people who were. It was the opposite. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but I was under the impression that when they paired you up with a bunch of people who were about same as you or a little less, and now you got an overblown a reading of how your skills. Now I'm this, and you'll keep advancing into tougher areas, and then they would make it look like, well, is what do I need to do to get up to this success level that I had just a little while ago? Well, the only way you can do it is their way. Spend some money.
That's it's I mean, obviously it's fucking infuriating. Um,
Well, it's
but
inevitable.
but I mean, it's like that's the kind of shit that they're working on, as opposed to developing game mechanics that are more enjoyable. Because I mean, fuck, man, games are at their core supposed to be entertainment. You know, like
Yeah.
nobody fucking spends $80 on a fucking game to hit a wall, reach a point where you get so fucking frustrated that
Well,
you spent $80 just to get fucking pissed off. You know, like
how much was the video game when PlayStation 3 came out?
uh,
They haven't changed. They've only changed $10 over quite a few years. They've
Well,
gone
I
from
was just
50 to 60
but we
bucks.
to
used
get
to.
the season pass and to get the full game experience. I don't know. I'm dropping 109 to 129. I don't know. That's a lot of money to me. And to keep, I mean, at what point do they stop asking for me to give them money? They're not the only video game I want to play.
There's a difference between greed and a
Ugh.
company that's doing the right thing. So we as gamers now, we have to be vigilant and we have to be wary and we have to
Yep.
research what games we're looking at. Like for example, my sister, okay, looking at a game from Koei Tecmo. I'm not sure if I pronounced their
Yep.
their uh,
Yeah, that
their
sounds
name
right.
correctly,
That's
but
that's that's how I
she's
pronounce it in
looking
my
at
head.
yeah, she's looking at the next Atelier game. It's an RPG. Just take a wild guess at what they're asking for on their season pass. The season pass. I'm not talking about anything else. Just
What
the
what
season
it's
pass.
on PS4, right?
It's on PS4.
For the season pass, I don't know.
Yes.
In
39.
American dollars, probably $100.
All
No,
right. So
not
the
season
average
pass.
the average season pass is going to
39.99
be around $50. Okay.
or
There
less.
Oh,
are
I thought
some
you were talking about
companies
for
that
the full, like for the game and the season
no
pass.
season pass. No, I'm just talking the season pass.
All right.
Okay.
30 to 50 at the most. I think
Yeah.
39.99, 29.99 is even average.
The companies that don't want to, really take a lot of money from you because they realize you're buying the game, they usually charge you 30. And there's other companies that charge you 50, but in some cases it's justified. Like with The Witcher 3, they make 30-hour expansions. That's understandable, 3 of them. But this game, okay, they're asking $80 for the season pass,
Oh, fuck.
where a lot of it is costumes, okay, cosmetics, and recipes that you actually need to
Wow.
work the game, that you need in the game. So, we had a long conversation about this, me and my sister, and I was really shocked because Koei Tecmo, I've played a lot of their games, and this is new to me. I've never seen them do this, but it's becoming a pattern now. There's a lot of companies, they're all getting on the bandwagon because none of their practices are being policed. And
Yeah,
there
whatever
are
they want.
analysts and experts saying that this should be being policed. The gaming community should be
There's a
taking
lot of
care
money
of this
involved.
problem, and they haven't. And so this is where we've got to. And EA has with their actions now Congress is getting involved. There's like 4 or 5 states now that want to get
Well,
loot boxes banned.
not today. They're not. Fucking
Do
government's
you
shut down,
remember?
dude. The U.S.
Do you remember
government is
about?
officially fucking closed starting at midnight last night.
Yeah,
They're trying to work out like I hope you don't gotta fucking renew your driver's license or passport next week, man, because they've they shut the fucker down because
yeah.
they couldn't work out a deal
Coming up
on
with
funding.
the ways to make money to build the wall.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's exactly what it was. Like the one side wants to protect um the kids, like kids that were brought to the U.S. illegally by their parents, and the Obama's administration told them, look, if you guys come in and register with us, we'll grant you like legal status or whatever to stay in the country. And so they volunteer all these people that were brought here illegally as kids. They all came and they registered and everything. And the other side now wants to deport them. So The one side's trying to protect them, and it's just a lot of nasty shit. But anyway, it's good to hear that that's actually something they're thinking about doing, though, is trying to get involved and
Well,
telling these
they
developers
have
that,
to.
like, look, you gotta fucking maybe not the developers, but it's the publisher, right? Like, 'cause I mean, EA, I mean, do they actually even develop anything, or do they just fucking hire people to develop shit for them the way they want?
They
Well,
own
how
so many
many?
companies now.
Yeah, that's
It's
what it is. Yeah.
ridiculous how many companies they own, and you know we're
What's
gonna.
the dollar figure on the video game industry every year in revenue?
I'll check
40
right now.
billion, 5 times what movies in Hollywood generates. And really, when you think about it, the evolution of video games is still in its infancy, and the corporations are starting to see all the money, and they're coming over there, and that attitude, and that overlying greedy, free enterprise mentality is taking over. And talking about that DLC and what they're that $80, it's just a drop in the pot, and it's an
U.S.
indication.
U.S. gaming revenue is forecast to reach 23.5 billion in 2017.
That's a
That's
lot of fucking money.
just in the fucking U.S.
How many of these developers or publishers have, and what percentage is it going up every year where the people who are in charge of making the big decisions about generating revenue don't have any interest in video games? They want nothing to do with them. They don't give a fuck. Excuse my language, but you know what? All they care about is money and shareholder profit. And just to go back to that DLC with Atelier, the guys who say they don't mind loot boxes, it doesn't bother me, if you can't pay, you know what? These are narrow-minded, short-sighted people who don't understand that's just part of it.
That's
It's
part
the
of the fucking
overlying
problem, actually. Like,
mentality and principle of these corporations need to be checked now. Do
well,
you
look
remember
at
when the last
EA's
DLC for Destiny came out, Levi?
for
Nando,
Destiny
Amy?
1.
Yeah. Do you remember how much they wanted for that one DLC?
Which
Do you
one was
remember
it?
me going on
Was that
on
the
a
Taken
rant?
King?
It was no, it was the last one. They wanted 79 fucking 99 for one DLC, for one 10-hour story mission, if that.
The
And there was
Iron
No,
a
that's
huge.
the
It was
Iron Lords.
79.99. Yeah, it was 79.99. They announced that's what they were going to charge, and the uproar on the internet.
he's talking
And
about the collectors with everything.
what, no, I'm talking about the basic deal. Maybe you guys don't remember. I wish I
And
recorded my
you gotta remember
freaking out
this.
about it.
Man,
They
this
charged
is Canadian dollars too.
39.99.
So
They charged 39.99 in the end. But on Reddit and the whole internet exploded when they announced they wanted 79.99, not for the collectors, for the basic DLC for that last one. They had to cow down and go back to 39.99, and I'm sure anybody who played that Destiny was serious about it knows what I'm talking about. They wanted 79.99. They hadn't released it yet, but that was the original price they wanted, and everybody snapped, me included, and I'll never forget that. And that was another nail in that Bungie coffin. They wanted almost $80 Canadian and probably $60 US for that one DLC, and everybody said, "Go fuck yourself."
you know what?
And they changed it to 39. I don't know if you recall that or if it's coming back now, but that's exactly what happened. You ended up paying normal price in the end, but they first initially wanted it. Remember Master Kids on my guy on Twitch and YouTube that I follow and give $5 a month to? He was the first time I saw that. He gets the advanced copies of games from, because he's a serious YouTuber, eh?
Yeah.
Generates revenue, and he was the first time I heard about it. They wanted $80 fucking Canadian. Fuck you, man.
Well, the only way to even come close to finding a way to combat that is, I mean, it's just it's going to be
involved.
Or if instead of just exploding with outrage on the fucking internet, gamers actually say, "Fuck you, I'm not buying it." Keep your fucking money, like don't just hand over your fucking money to them when they're employing nasty fucking tricks like that. Like deal with play something else. Like like that's the only
but there's
the only thing that they're gonna the only thing that obviously a corporation that's only interest is in keeping that fucking money coming in nonstop. Um, is if they take a hit financially. You know, like people can get pissed off all they want, rant and rave all they want on the internet, but
Yeah.
the only thing they're gonna fucking listen to is a drop in their
Money.
profits. So,
Go CD Project Red, yay!
fuck yeah.
I'm buying stock.
Okay, what
CD
about
Project Red and Obsidian.
let's finish it
The
off
guys
here
who
with
did The Witcher.
Monster Hunter World.
Yes.
The last beta is going on right now.
Yes, the last beta is going on right now.
I
Wednesday,
don't.
we should see the preload for on Wednesday. The preload should start, and from what I hear, it's around 15 gigabytes, which is extremely small,
Yeah, it's not bad.
the size. So,
Well, I mean, you know what? Fortnite was 6. It's all online, so you know what? There's no like I can just quit Fortnite, delete it, and it's 6 gigabytes, which means it's all in their server, so they don't need to have, you know, it's an online game and that's it.
Have you guys heard anything about Monster Hunter World? Like Nan, were you saying that they were talking about they'll be releasing like lots of free DLC, like
yes,
additional hunts
Monster
and shit like
Hunter,
that?
they're
They
yeah,
usually do, don't they?
they're
They did with because we played the last one on DS.
with all of their Monster Hunter games, they support their games very, very well. They appreciate the community, and they put out free content, a lot of free content. Uh, so we should see a lot of story missions, probably monsters. They're gonna put out a lot of stuff for us, which is gonna be free, which is gonna
At
be
the
a really
very
nice
least, it's going
change.
to be interesting to see how they deal with it. If they do it right, man, they'll clean up. Look at they'll be the MMO. They'll be just like GTA Online, just a different crowd. Just how huge that game is.
And apparently that game's fucking has more players than it ever has. More active players, and I haven't played it in fucking probably 2 months.
Well, that's because you robbed too many stores, got drunk too many times, and stopped on Brothel Row there, and there was such a warrant out for your arrest.
And blew people up from the helicopters.
Exactly.
Wow.
Brothel Row.
Every time I turned it on when you were playing it, Levi Cisco has robbed 3 stores. Levi Cisco has assaulted 5 police officers. You're just a badass, man. There's too many.
But that's, I mean, like throughout the course of that of GTA Online, I mean, like they were always releasing new shit, that was like new DLC that was free. Were they not?
They made so much money from that game that they built their own, and they built a brand new engine from the ground up for Red Dead Redemption.
Huh.
I was watching. I saw some 10 minutes of gameplay on this YouTube guy's channel on Wednesday or Thursday, and it's the first that I've seen of that, which means it's the beginning of the the Red Dead Redemption influx. And that game is huge. That game is freaking huge. It put Rockstar, I guess, right?
Yep.
That company made so much money from that game. I mean, it cost them $500 million to make it, for Christ's sake. And the fact that it's made more money for them than it's allowed them to become like a Bungie did with Halo. When they sold that, it was all over the place. What, $1.7 billion to some other company to carry on the franchise?
Sold the IP. But yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't play the last. I played the first Monster Hunter beta. I didn't play the last one, but I'm thinking about actually maybe installing this new one and giving it a go.
Well, you know what? For me personally, it's going to be the same as Fortnite, Destiny, and Warframe, with one massive, huge for me personally, difference.
What's that?
It's a hand-to-hand combat. It's Japanese. It's just the style of game I like more than a shooter.
Yeah.
I like that hand-to-hand. You know what I mean? Going up against a huge dragon from Skyrim. That's just my cup of tea. So I have I fully expect that game to get put in my machine, and some version of it or other will be in my PlayStation for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a pretty fucking sweet game. I'm thinking the only weapons I actually tried in the first beta were they were all like melee weapons. But I got to thinking, I mean, I've never played a ranged character. Like I've never really used a ranged character in Monster Hunter. Um, but I mean, if everybody else is planning on going melee, I think I might uh, use a bow or the gun lance or the cannon or whatever it is. The one of the
No, it's got to
you
be
know.
different, eh? Oh, you know what? Actually, Levi, now that
Well,
you say that,
Wyatt
I
was
saw
telling me
something.
it's good to have a ranged character in in a group of four or whatever, because
Yeah.
especially if you're going after like a flying monster, or like wasn't in the last Monster Hunter, wasn't there like a great big spider that could crawl on the ceiling or something like that? I seem to remember
Yes.
Well,
something
Yes.
about
hopefully,
that,
if
or
they
Yep.
do the game right, it'll.
the skunk ape that could swing from the ceiling. But if you got a ranged character, you can actually pick them out of the air or knock them off the ceiling or whatever, and stun them, and then the other players just fucking just
Well, the way
dogpile.
I see it is, personally, is that it's really focusing on getting 4 players and hunting down a monster. And if you have the right team, one to bring them down, if you have the right complement of styles, that's what that game is really where it's gonna, I think it's gonna really excel. Different styles and styles of gameplay and suited for everybody. And also, I read on IGN that if you go to the like the ranged way on Monster Hunter, it's way easier to steal kills.
Oh, uh-huh. I think my mind's made
You
up
know,
then.
yeah, you know.
But I mean, if you're using a ranged weapon, I noticed. I mean, they don't do a lot of damage. Like they don't do the kind of damage that fucking charge axe or whatever does. But but they're useful to have because, like I say, you can take down a flyer and stun them, and then the other players can just go in and just start boot fucking. Um, do you plan on picking it up, Amy?
No,
No.
just don't have the money for it.
Uh, Nand,
Yes.
did you pre-order it already?
No.
Oh, okay. Um, I think I might do that today too. Um, just because I'd like the preload to start happening, but
Yeah, the preload will start on Wednesday.
yeah. And then it'll be playable Thursday at midnight.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean, it'll be. Um, I mean, even if, like Amy, even if you can't get it on the like when it first comes out, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be on my hard drive for a long time.
A
You
long
know,
time. Yeah.
like
There's no question of the quality of the game at all because we've
Well,
played a couple of them. It's going to be amazing. So,
um, and that's the nice thing about it is you get a couple of people on that happen to be on at the same time, and it's like you guys want to run a hunt, and there you go. Your next half hour, 45 minutes is of fun is good to go.
yeah. And, one thing that you like to do that I remember doesn't always have to be hunt. We could just do chill
Oh,
missions looking for materials,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
that's true too. Um, Yeah, I mean, I can't like, uh, I can't wait to start collecting shit. You know, like,
Oh
'cause
yeah.
in the beta, I mean, you could pick shit up, but I mean, it was pointless because I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do with it? Aside from obviously the
Nothing's
stuff
gonna save.
in the supply crate at the beginning, right? Um, but yeah, yeah, man,
Well,
it's gonna
here's
be a
something
good
to think
time.
about, Levi.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not my place to say.
Oh, it's definitely not your place to say.
uh,
um.
Please continue.
Well. I got nothing. No, I was
After
gonna
that, huh?
say. Well.
How about a harump?
I don't know. This is kind of the subject. You know me. I'm very mild mannered. I don't express my opinion much, and sometimes.
just try to
Uh,
keep
Uh-huh.
your head down and
Doug.
if you were serious, Levi, why don't you share your system with me, Levi, or Levi with Amy, like I did with Nando?
uh,
Like I said, that's not my place to say it. Now I put you on the spot, and that's why I didn't think maybe I shouldn't say anything because you know what, everybody's different. And if you didn't want to share your system, maybe that's because it has nothing to do with Amy. It's just it's like
Doug, you just stepped
it,
all in
it,
it, man.
it's like sharing your
What is
car.
the subject?
It's
What
like
do you want?
sharing your car. How do you tell a buddy, no, you can't have my car? You'd love to,
You say
but
no,
it's
you can't have my
yeah,
car.
oh, well, yeah, but that's easy for you to say. But what if you're not the kind of person who gives a shit about people's feelings, or you're got to tread softly, or you don't know how they're going to take it? It's a fine line that isn't my place for Levi to make that decision. But that's what I did. And right, Nando? I
Yeah.
mean, I shared it, and because that's just the kind of person I am. I don't give a fuck. It has nothing to do with me. I don't care. It's no sweat off my back. But Levi doesn't want to share his shit because
Doug, you
Poor
can walk away
Levi.
from this conversation at any time. Just let me know.
I
uh,
stated my opinion. And I let everybody know, and like I said, now it's out there.
Well done.
And I know Amy would never take it personal if Levi decided he didn't want to, because
Nope.
you
well,
know,
I mean,
right? Exactly.
for the time being, I probably could. I mean, it's I do plan on picking up a second
Okay.
PlayStation.
Having
Try to get
having said all
Sarah
that,
playing.
Levi, before you make that decision, I will tell you that having played with Amy lately, she changed. She's really hardcore. She
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
she's she's not the same. Something's
I
happened.
think the stream has gone
It's
too
like
fast.
a bloodthirst that I've never seen. Like for instance, when she has more kills than her combat score is better than mine in a Fortnite, that drives me nuts. I'm just kidding. I'm full of it. But carry on. I'm in it now, you know.
Oh yeah, you've already
You do it.
No, I
neck
can't
deep
help
in
but
it.
be
Like,
myself, right?
well, with that, I think I'll shut the stream down. No, I mean we've we've talked for like 50
Uh,
minutes. 50 minutes now,
Oh
you know.
wow, 50
We
minutes.
50. We had
I think it was a good first foray.
I think so. I think we could definitely do it again. Um, but you know, we're gonna need some new things to discuss. I mean, I think we've boot fucked Bungie and EA about as hard as we can. But who knows? I mean, who knows? Maybe they could fuck around next week and give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Could
like the
always try.
Valentine's event coming up.
We could try talking about Anthem next week. That's another,
does it
really
actually
big
start
game
on
that's coming
Valentine's,
down the
Amy?
pipe.
I have no
Or
clue.
Cyberpunk.
Anthem?
But there is one you
Anthem or
heard?
Cyberpunk. We could talk about
Yeah.
those next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
The same guy
Yeah.
that Nan was talking about it.
Yang,
Mm-hmm.
Young, yeah.
or Long,
Yeah.
or as he's known in the community, Long Duck now.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
What
Um,
now?
He's a pretty informative guy, that guy, hey? You know.
Holy fuck.
Anyway, thanks for talking with me, everybody.
Yes.